Good morning, folks. Welcome to day 2 of D-Day Conneaut. I'm in my hotel room at Ashtabula, Ohio. We are going to be getting ready now, and in a little bit we're going to be heading out because day 2 starts early in Conneaut. It starts at 9 o'clock, so I want to make sure that we get there because there's plenty of festivities today. We're going to be getting some reenactments. We're going to be seeing a reenactment of the landings. So let's make sure we get there so we can film, because this is going to be really, really exciting. I cannot wait for this. So, without further ado, we'll be getting going, and we'll catch you guys there, okay? So, let D-Day Conneaut Day 2 begin. Here's just a little view of my outfit, folks. I got my D-Day 75 shirt here, as you can see. Pretty nice design, I like it, with all the aircraft, the landing craft at the beach. I think the beach is, I want to guess it's either Omaha or Utah. People can probably correct me. You see this little medal right here? You see right there? This is the D-Day 75 commemorative medal. So I put that on as well because I wanted to make sure I had this. It took a while to get this, but hey, that's what you gotta do with this stuff. And I'm also going to be wearing my M1 helmet today. So, basically, I'm going to be looking more like a person from back then. But hey, who cares? It's a good event, so let's have fun, okay? Here we are back in Conneaut, folks. As you can see, here's my helmet again. If you guys saw my previous videos before, you've seen it, well, mainly in the D-Day 75th anniversary video. And, yeah, we're just basically walking back the same way we came from, yesterday. So, let's get a move on. And we're going to be seeing a lot of action today. So, without further ado, we'll see you guys back at the Conneaut Township Park. As you can see, for this hour of the morning, the joint is already jumping. How about that? I see a lot of Englishmen here, don't you? Morning, Governor.
Morning.
Oh, everybody, come take a look at this. I just caught a sight of this inside the camp. I'm not sure if you saw it on camera. I say, look over there. Look right past that Jeep. Is it just me, or do I see a Polish anti-tank gun right there? Why don't we go take a look, shall we? Come on. Okay, so this is the headquarters of the 5th Ranger Battalion, Company B. Basically Company Baker, as it would call back then. Nowadays it's called Company Bravo. It's not a Polish gun. The shield made it look like one, but it's still a 37mm anti-tank gun. The activity here is crazy. Reenactors are all over getting ready, and we're told not to interact with them under any circumstances this day, as it's said in the Code of Conduct. Now, I may be wrong in a certain way, but there's plenty to do here. And I gotta say, it is incredible. Absolutely astounding. The big deuce-and-a-half record truck there. Nice. Did you see that, folks? That Jeep had twin Lewis machine guns on it. Wasn't that cool? I think it was cool. Seems so much like when I was in boot camp, don't you think? All Sea Cadets who are in my boot camp, sound off.
Fourth man, first ring, step up. Still, carry it on. To the right, to the right. Be looking down the chin. Front ring, steady. Sorry, gentlemen. Game platoon. Order! Arc! We're fine. We'll do drill, don't worry. Not French, I don't know it. Stand on! East! Stand easy. We're gonna figure out who's here.
As you can more than clearly see, it is a lot busier than it was yesterday. So basically everything's going to be starting at 0900 hours or 9 o'clock this morning. So we're all heading up there. And again, keep interaction to an absolute minimum. Okay? Hey, everybody, check this out. We got a Polish stand right here. I'll show you. Are you ready? I hope you're ready. My ancestor was on that ship. Oh, check out this little thing. "100th Bomb Group." That's interesting. Never saw that here yesterday. But hey, no difference. Let's keep looking. Telegraph wires. Or imitation telegraph wires, I should say.
Something on you. You got it though. I don't know what it was. Alright.
Check that out.
Get your weapons squared away. Yeah, you did. It does everything like a real.
30 caliber Browning M19 19A4. Nice staff car, don't you think? Oh, look at that, a watchtower. Oh, look at this, everybody. Look at this. It's a searchlight. How about having that light up the night, eh? Oh, look at this mobile mount of a 30 cal. There's another 30 cal. Oh, a boy's anti-tank rifle. Cool.
Drains out of it. After mine's done, I'm not selling it because I need it.
Mine detection equipment.
Gotta get some of that line.
A Piat. Yeah, but you all remember this from yesterday. An M16 half-track with a 250 cal and a 137mm anti-aircraft gun mount. Those who play War Thunder, you should know this one. Hey folks, look who I found this early morning.
Yeah, that looks good. All right, I got two. HBT cap. Kind of looks a little bit like a baseball cap.
How about that first thing in the morning and I spot the chieftain again? I tell ya. the luck of the frickin' Irish, as a World of Tanks streamer once put it. Well, I don't really have much more to say about that. So hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of a video interview with him later, okay? Let's continue on.
I got pitcher and then turn it off.
Oh, there goes the long tom.
It took me 4 months to get my down to 4 They finally paid
Hey folks, I just noticed this down there. Take a look. I'm pretty sure that's the imitation German armor down there. Cool. Oh, and look out in the water. There's a duck truck. There's the 88.
Yeah, I guess they did.
And there's a 20 mil. There's they moving the 57.
Additionally, we have added a permanent museum in Conneaut to carry out our 50-year round. This commemoration is to honor the sacrifice made by all those involved in this campaign in World War II.
How about that, folks? They brought a single 105mm howitzer here as well. This is incredible. And now we're going down the beach and we're checking out what I saw is an actual running LVTA-1 landing craft vehicle track, or what they called the Amtrak, the water buffalo. So, let's go. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the LVTA-1, the Amtrak, or Amphibious Vehicle Tracked. This is basically an amphibious landing vehicle, which they intended to call the Water Buffalo, which would carry troops to the shore. How this would work is with the tracks. If you take a look at the tracks right here, you see how these are? This is meant to push the water out of the way back behind the vehicle. The reason for this is because they didn't have any propellers or anything. They weren't like a duplex drive tank like the Sherman could be. This was basically to come up on the shore and drop the Marines off. These were mostly used by Marines. They were used, I remember hearing, during the crossing of the Rhine River. And as you take a look, you can see the Browning M1919A4 30 cal machine gun in a pulpit there, right there, on the ball mount. As you come around the side, you see it says Tom's Joy here. You got two more 30 calibers up there on the side. And then up on the front, you got the Browning M2HB 50 cal machine gun. Now you're probably wondering, how did this get Marines on shore? Well, this is how. By this ramp. As you take a look, you got the sign there. And look at that area back there. These could carry a platoon of Marines, or they could carry one Jeep in the back. Yes, you heard that right. A Jeep. Can you believe that? And here, I'm going to show you a view of the beach. This is what the infantry would have seen coming up to Omaha Beach. Because this is a perfect representation of the dunes. Take a look. Look at that up there. Yeah, the terrain definitely favored the defenders. But as we see, that is what the Water Buffalo is. A big vehicle to carry a lot of troops. And, yeah, basically take a beating from small arms. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. So we're done with that little charade of shenanigans. As you can see, there's a DUKW, or a duck truck, which is an amphibious truck that was used with the landings. There was even, if you see way back there, you probably can't see much, there was a Higgins boat, the landing craft that would have been used in D-Day. There was one, they said, that's down by the pier. I'm not going to be able to get to that today, but even though that's a later model, you can just see, sorry, there's somebody shouting behind me.
That's everybody!
You can see, as I said, you look at the view from like the landing craft, you look at the beach, just how it looked at Omaha Beach, that should scare you. You're being shot down on, and there's basically nowhere to hide, except behind the vehicles or the shore obstacles. But now, we're going and checking out the so-called German armor here. I'll explain it as we get there, but you'll be surprised at just how close of a symbol it looks, okay? So let's keep going. So here, ladies and gentlemen, this is the so-called German armor here. what we see is a Panzer III. I'm pretty sure that's the L. We have a Stug 3 G, although I think that's actually a Stu, which is the assault version with the 105mm howitzer. And the one down there is supposed to be a Panzer IV, but I'll explain that as we go. So what we have here with this German armor is, what they did was, they took the top portion of a Panzer III, and they decided to mount it on a British APC vehicle. It's the FV something, I don't remember. I heard I think it was the Chieftain who said it, but it's, they are basically, they're hybrid, but they're the closest representation of German armor that you're going to get. So, we'll take a look at these, okay? Now, these vehicles, at first, they're supposed to represent the vehicles of the 21. Panzerdivision, which is the 21st Panzer Division that was stationed around the area of Caen on D-Day. As you probably heard from my video for D-Day, there was a counterattack by the Panzers, and what happened was 17 Panzer IV Ausführung H's, the Panzer IV Ausführung H with the side skirts, 17 of them were supposed to counterattack against Sword Beach. But what happened was, as they came up to Perrier Ridge near the beach, they came into an ambush of 17-pounder anti-tank guns and British Sherman Fireflies. 17 Panzers went up, only 4 made it back. That was a very big waste of 17 irreplaceable Panzers, how only 4 made it back. So, we'll take a look at these vehicles, okay? Here we go. So, here we see the Panzer III Ausführung A, which has the long 50mm KWK L60. So that's the most recent version. As you can tell, this is how you can tell that these are hybrid vehicles. A Panzer III had 6 road wheels. This has 5, okay? Just to get that out of the way, alright? And you just take a look along here, alright? As you can see, that Frankenstein armor on the front, that's basically what they did. They took an extra bit of armor and they basically made it up to, like, I think it was 70mm equivalent. And as we come along, here's the so-called Sturmgeschütz. If you're wondering, Sturmgeschütz is assault gun in German. Now let's actually measure the diameter. Let's see. Looks close to 75mm, although technically the regular Sturmgeschütz would be a little bit longer in the barrel. And you see they got the armored shield for the machine gun up there? Yeah. These things were the most widely produced German vehicle. Had they done more of these vehicles, they may have actually made a bigger bit of a difference. Don't you think? And as we go around here, this is what's supposed to be the Panzer IV-H here. It's still a Panzer III, technically, but they made it look like a Panzer IV. It's often hard to find Panzers these days in good restoration condition.
Panzer III-K. They didn't make very many of them at all because the gun was too big for it.
That's true.
So then the Panzer IV came out.
As you heard, Panzer III-K, because if you look very closely, as I said, it still has the 5 road wheels. And unlike the Panzer III, the Panzer IV had 8 road wheels. Here's the thing you could tell. If you want to know an extra note to tell between a Panzer III and a Panzer IV, if you look at the idler wheels on top of the road wheels on the side, a Panzer III has 3 on each side, and a Panzer IV has 4. Don't you think? So yeah, there are many like this, but I gotta tell you, it's interesting. Now Panzer III-K versus Panzer IV, the way it does look more like a Panzer IV, most would say. And for that reason is because of the side skirts on the side, or Schürzen, as they would say. As I'll show you, those are the Schürzen. Because if you look, both the later Panzer III models and the Panzer IV models had the side turret mounts. Now they did have the side skirts, but most people know the German armor for the side skirts with the Panzer IV. you wouldn't see more of the Panzer IIIs with them, even in the later models. But still, many people would usually say from a first glance that it would be a Panzer IV. Well, you gotta look at the shape of the turret, of course, because if you look at here's the thing that you should know: the main difference between the two, even though it isn't, is that if you look, they have different style mantlets as well. But as you can see, they do have the similar Frankenstein armor on the front. Where that term was coined, I have no idea, but it was all to increase the armor thickness, because the base armor of the Panzer IV was 50 millimeters. This put it up to equivalent, as I've read in books, is 80 millimeters. But pretty cool, huh? They got all the same similarities. And this, ladies and gentlemen, what you see here is the Flugzeugabwehrkanone 36, or the Flak 36 as we know, the infamous 88 millimeter. Before I start, in case anybody wonders, as you know, as you probably read in history, that this gun was also a heavy anti-tank gun, but that was actually by accident. What I actually talked to earlier is I actually talked to the narrator of the Military History Visualized channel on YouTube. The reason why is, as they said with the heavy anti-aircraft guns, is that when the program did a little bit of a change to do the design of this gun, they wanted to have a gun that would also be able to bust bunkers open. So basically, this gun, the reason why it could penetrate heavy armor of the French Char Bis heavy tank is because it was meant to have heavy shells that could penetrate heavy armor. And that's the reason why they could do that to the Matilda as well. It became a heavy anti-tank gun by accident, believe it or not. And you think about it, all the tankers that were here, that was incredible. But man, what an incredible and yet scary weapon. Just standing in front of this thing makes me kind of shiver inside, don't you think?
And this is a string quartet, the floor in Normandy, and they will be playing for 3 times tomorrow. Don't miss the string quartet. .2-inch mortar.
Early in the war that they're going to have a heavy gun tank. So they developed the Mark IV. They originally had a short barrel 75 millimeter gun, but then they improved the long barrel 75. Very devastating to the American armor. And there's your shattering kaboom.
Everyone
Earth-shattering kaboom!
Now, doesn't that sound like Looney Tunes?
May have noticed all the black smoke. Well, it's actually white-looking smoke, but they call it black smoke from the black powder. These guys use black powder as a propellant, and that 70-millimeter gun would fire, I think, 4 pounds. The next tank coming on the field is actually not a tank, it is a self known as the Seuss to me. I can't say the whole German word. But it also has a 75-millimeter gun. The only difference is this was easier to make, cheaper to make, but it did not have a turret on it. So there were two used during World War II. Okay, I'm waiting for the gun, but I don't know if that's going to happen. The next tank entering the field is a Mark III. This was one of the first medium tanks or heavy tanks the Germans developed.
Wasn't a heavy
Started
tank.
with a 37-millimeter gun, but realizing they needed a bigger gun, it was upgunned to a 50-millimeter gun.
That wasn't that bad. Is that loud? Yeah.
You gotta measure 10 more times.
It's not loud.
The next truck entering the field is one of my favorites. It's pretty, well, I should say, Canadian-made, made by Chevrolet. It's distinctive. The cab is known as the Canadian military pattern. It was described. They also had larger cargo hauling trucks. This one is towing a, not quite sure what size gun. I think it's 50.
That's a Hotchkiss 25-millimeter anti-tank rifle. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah,
Oh!
the truck there, Canada's greatest contribution to the war, but it's probably one of the most prolific vehicles used in the British Army.
We'll wait till that one.
Mustangs.
You could say warfare in World War II was trenches and break down the barbed wire. It created panic in the German ranks when these machines were first used, but the Germans soon learned
What I tell ya, Mustangs, P-51s.
fire at the tanks and it will knock them out. So that creates
Oh, we got the Americans
development
coming.
race of tanks and cannons.
Oh, honey, there's whiskey.
The thought early in the war was that would be sufficient for knocking out any tank. Americans also adopted this philosophy. The first tank entering the field is known as the Sherman tank. This was American's main battle tank. It had a 75 millimeter gun on it. It was the dual purpose. Its primary purpose was to support the infantry by knocking out bunkers, firing at the other infantry, and also shooting at tanks. When this was developed, this gun was sufficient to knock out the Mark IV Panzers you saw earlier. But as the war went on, the bigger millimeter gun was not sufficient. Part of your warfare is to have artillery support for your tanks and your infantry. The next tank that came out is also a Sherman. They realized they needed a heavily armored vehicle to provide artillery support. So the Sherman in it. So the two primary weapons by the end of the war were the Sherman 75 and the Sherman with It looks like the long tom out on the beach is getting ready to fire. This is an American 155 millimeter gun. There were many different types of artillery. You had guns, had howitzer. This one is a very effective gun. It could fire about 14 miles. It is also based a French design that the Americans got in World War I. Those types of guns were used by the Germans at Pointe du Hoc, and that was an important part of the battle, that the American Rangers would capture the guns at Pointe du Hoc. The little creature sneaking up in the water here is our friendly little duck. And it's suffering from the waves a little bit, but that's okay. It'll get up on shore and be happy. Decided they needed a cargo vehicle, swim through the waves, use Motors Company, sheathe the body to make a boat out of it. During D-Day, these vehicles were used to carry 1-5 howitzers. And then once they reached the shore, they unloaded the guns, completed their fire missions, and then they could attach the gun to the back of the truck, and they could drive inland. It was very effective.
No. But in this heat, with some of these older guys, they could have a heart attack. The Little Friends of Whiskey 7 are a 3-scale Mustang made here in Ashtabula County. It's a company called Titan Aircraft, and they've been coming for many years here to D-Day. The C-47, Whiskey 7, is out of New York, an Air Museum, Geneseo, New York. Some of the larger guns that we have here, the whole planes fly over later on during the battle demonstration.
I don't think there's people that go down. It's very costly. It's very
I'd like to mention one thing, that D-Day Ohio is a totally volunteer organization. We raise our money primarily at this event through donations and sales in our gift shop. So you want to support the event, go pick up a t-shirt or find one of our volunteers with the plastic buckets. We can appreciate everything that you can do to help bring on this event. We have a little lawn there. The planes have cleared the airspace, so I think the artillery crews are getting... In about 20 minutes, our battle demonstration for the day commemorates the British Commonwealth attack on Juno Sword and Gold Beach. We also choose this to highlight our armor because the British armor were more successful landing on those beaches. Now we realize that there were no armor battles on the beaches, but there were battles just a few miles inshore. Since we don't have a good viewing area in the farmers' fields out there, we'll just recreate the battles here.
track. Track and flex. I'm waving right now.
Well, folks, this is basically it for D-Day Conneaut. We're going to be heading home soon, but before we go, I just got one little interview for here. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Domo Sapien from Wargaming NA. Now, Domo, will you have any advice for any future wargamers or anybody?
Future advice for new players, or what do you mean?
Like, what would you have for advice if people start playing the game right now?
Okay, my advice would be, don't go beach on Overlord. My advice would be, try the US medium line. The US medium line is a great line for kind of teaching you a lot of really good habits. It does a great job of teaching ridgeline play, kind of passive play. Really teaches you a lot of good gameplay habits. I wish I picked up the US medium line when I first started the game. I started with German tank destroyers, and it was a very difficult learning curve. I think the US medium line is a lot more forgiving, and there's a lot of really good gems in there. You got the M4 Sherman, you got the T20, you got the M46 and the M48 Patton. A lot of really great tanks. Hey, besides that, actually, let me plug my scavenger hunt. As a new player, too, if you participate in the scavenger hunt or other community events like that, you can get a lot of boosters and cool rewards to kind of help you progress through the game more quickly. And at the same time, watching these content creators, these streamers, is going to help you learn a lot of really good, again, more good habits, a lot of information about the game. And it's going to basically help you with that initial kind of steep learning curve, so it's not quite as steep. And you can get onto the higher tiers faster that way.
Basically saying a simpler way on how to grind the game out without having to spend so much money, right?
Yeah. So I'm exhausted, so I'm not doing a good job of explaining this. But I guess what the point that I'm trying to make is that especially lately here in NA, we've been trying to come up with more ways for folks who are really engaged with the community in and outside of the game to get more rewards and essentially, if you're an engaged player, more options for you to get stuff that will help you with that grind, essentially making that grind easier. I don't know if that makes any sense.
But I mean, hey, it's wargaming. You gotta have fun. When you want to engage, you engage. Am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, he's right.
Said from the master. But yeah, everybody, this was D-Day Conneaut. And, Domo, what did you think of the event?
It's been absolutely amazing. I have never seen anything like this before, and I didn't quite know what to expect going in, but my expectations have been completely surpassed. I would love to get into reenacting. This looks like an amazing hobby. I definitely encourage everybody to come check out the event. Check out some reenactments. It's really cool. I had no idea I would be into this, but it's absolutely amazing. You should definitely go check it out.
What I've been saying all along on this channel, now haven't I? So everybody, that's D-Day Conneaut. We're going to be heading on home, and I hope you guys will enjoy this video. And hey, if you are into things like wargaming, feel free to check it out. This is the Tank Commander signing off from D-Day Conneaut.